Hello and welcome to LEKApatterns tutorial of shirt. The pattern you can get at our online shop or at Etsy. Below of the video you can also find direct links of pattern and tutorial of the paper bag shirts you see in this video. The belt of shirts you can also use for the shirts. If you use fabric with the stripes, take attention to the marks on the patterns. The stripe on the pattern should go the same direction as on the fabric. First, prepare the top pockets. Search the edges and fold according notches. Sew the fold. Iron it. Fold the rest of the edges. The fold is 1 cm wide. Fix it by ironing. Take the front panel. We need to mark the top pocket place. You can cut out the top pocket at the pattern or just corners of it. Mark the pocket place on the fabric. Pin the pocket to the front panel. Sew the pocket. Top stitch with 0.5 cm or even less seam allowance. Add the bottom part to the front panel. Make all stitching with 1 cm seam allowance and later serging. Iron the seam and make top stitching. The same way make another front panel. If you use pretty thin fabric, use the interfacing for all pieces of the details. Otherwise, it's enough just one piece of the detail. Place the color details on each other, good size inside, and join together at 3 sides. Trim the corners. It helps to make nice and pointy when you turn it out. And iron the collar. Probably you lost the notches after adding the interfacing, so make it once again. Pin the details of collar stand to the collar. The notches help you to add it at the right place. Sew along and make 0.5 cm seam allowance. Make some trims on seam allowance and turn it out. Iron the full collar detail. Let's join together the back details. Sew, serge, iron and make top stitching. Join front and back panels at the shoulders line. Sew, serge and iron. Time to add the sleeves. First pin the sleeves to the armholes, then join together. Serge all sides along. Before joining the sides together, mark the end of the seam. Take the pattern and mark it with the pin at the pattern's notch. Sew along the side of the shirt and the sleeve. The seam allowance and iron the seam. Let's make the cuffs. First, add the interfacing to the cuff. Take the pattern and place on the good side on the sleeve. Mark the length of the placket. The placket should be at the back side. Cut this length. With the help of the notches, pin the pleat it by sewing. Make the bias tape. Measures 2.5 and 23 centimeters and pin it to the placket. Here take some attention. You start the seam with 0.5 cm seam allowance, and at the corner of the placket it should be just 0.2 cm seam allowance, so the seam comes a bit diagonally. Then again you go back to 0.5 cm seam allowance. Trim the ends of bias tape. Fold another edge of the bias tape. With the fold you should cover the seam. Pin it. At the corner do not cover too much. The width of the bias tape should be even all along. it along. Iron the sleeve. Fix the placket. Sew diagonally. It comes nice and pointy corner. Take the cuff and with the help of notches on cuff and the sleeve, pin it. Should leave some of the cuff at the beginning and the end. Join the details together. Fold the cuff at the notch, good side inside. And sew the ends of the cuff. Trim the corners of the seam allowance and turn it out. Another edge of the cuff, fold 1 cm and match the fold line with the seam. Pin it. The fold should cover the seam, but on another side the pin should be at the side of the cuff. It cannot catch the cuff. from the inside as close as you can to the edge. Prepare the curves at the bottom part for the folding. Make the seam with longer stitch on the edge and leave the long ends of the threads. Take one of the threads and carefully pull in order to gather. It helps to fold more easily. Make a fold of 1 cm and secure it with the pins. Iron the fold. Before sewing along the bottom, take a look and be sure that the length of both front panels match. If there is any difference, you can still control it with the bottom fold. Sew a long 0.5 cm seam allowance. At the join of two panels, make a back stitching and then continue. Iron the bottom. Front plackets. Fold in half and sew one end. Trim the seam allowance of the corner and turn it out. Iron the detail. Join together the placket and the front panel. Match them with the help of the notch. For the next step, there are possible two ways. First of them, a bit easier. Simply join all layers with the serger and fix the end. And the final result would be as the black shirt has. Another way. First iron the seam, which was made before. Fold another edge of the placket 1 cm and pin. The fold should cover the seam approximately 0.2 cm. But at another side, the pin should be the side of the placket. It cannot catch the placket. The seam going to be on the line where the pin is. seam does not go on the placket at front. Sew along on the good side. Iron the placket. Pin the collar to the neckline and join together. For the next step, there are two ways. First one a bit easier. Place even all layers and join them with the serger and fix the ends. Second one, fold another edge of the collar stand 1 cm and make the top stitch. The fold should cover the seam, but at another side the pin should be at the side of the collar stand. It cannot catch the collar stand. The seam goes very next to the collar stand and we sew from the good side. Iron the collar. Instead of buttons, you can choose the snap buttons as we did for the black shirts. For the pink shirts, we make the buttons. First, mark the holes for the buttons. First button goes 3 cm from the top. Mark the top of the button and then the wide of the button. The next button goes 8 cm down. Measure from the bottom part of the previous button, and so on. Make the holes at the marked spots. Cut the holes. According the holes, mark the spots for the buttons at another front placket. Add the buttons. The button and its hole on the cuff, you can set the place as you wish. It depends how much hole you wish. We make 1 cm away from the side edge. And that's it. You have a new shirt, which perfectly match with paper bag shirts, which you can make with our pattern from our shop.